Good morning, everyone. It is October 6th, and you that in the Bay Area today, it feels like it's fall. The temperatures have come down, and it's like such a relief. And from my lips to God's ears, we might get a little rain this weekend, I hope. And speaking of that, this weekend, my kids are coming. I'm very excited up from Los Angeles. And so, rumor has it there's going to be a slumber party here on Saturday night. Just so much fun. Oh, these cousins love each other. It's just, they love each other, which I could not ask for anything better than that, right? Because at some point we're going to be long gone, and it's who they have for each other. So, one cute little thing is that I took the kids, Adair has them in Spanish lessons, and it's a private thing. Kids love it because they play games, they get prizes, and they pick up, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. And in William's class, he's in TK, there's one kid that speaks no English, and he speaks Spanish. And so we're going to try and get William to go and talk to the kid. I said, well, so what if he goes up and says, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco? And Adair goes, well, that's better than nothing. And she's right. But also, when I dropped them off, they told the kids that I'm the abuela. And the only reason I know what an abuela is because I am sucked down the hole of Jane the Virgin. It is so good. It's on Netflix. And if you have not watched Jane the Virgin, you are missing out on one of the finer things on screen. It's a takeoff on telenovela soap operas. It is so good. It is so stupid. It is hilarious. So let me get over to show and tell and things like that. I'm going to try something I've never done before, so I hope you bear with me. Okay, John's coming in, and that makes me nervous. Oh, telenovela. Telenovela. Telenueva. Telenovela. Hola. ¿Cómo está? So, okay, here we go. Let's take a look at this first image. I'm having a hard time reading it because the sun's coming in at me. I'm sitting at my PAL right now, my Q20, and I am going to do a little video on Q20 today because at retreat Brenda asked me to. So, and the thing is even if you're not on a Q20, I'm hoping that some of this stuff can translate to whatever you're working on. Oh, okay. So I got this from Karen, and right now on We All Sew, Lenny Weiner did a thing on how to do things with your vintage linens. And I see here it's January 25th, 17. So you're going to have to go back and find it. But thank you, Karen. I looked at that. First of all, it's just smashing, those blue linens on the red chair. But thanks for passing that along. And it kind of dovetailed in beautifully today. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Karen. Again, We All Sew 5 Ways to Upcycle Vintage Linens, 12517 by Lenny Weiner, which, by the way, we did a show with her and she knocks my socks off. So you might want to go check out that show. Then we have here, okay. So this got first place, the Superior Threads Award. It was probably Threadwork or whatever, but this is by Hollis Chatelaine. And it actually went out in our newsletter today. And John said, have you seen it? And I'm like, no, I have not. And I went and I looked, and it took my breath away. It also took me back to Hollis's Blue Man. Oh, wrong one. Here's Blue Man right here. This quilt kind of put Hollis on the map. This was a large quilt. It is absolutely exquisite. And if you want to know a secret, it hangs at Bay Quilts in Richmond, California. The gal who owns it bought it way back in the day. And if you're ever in the area, it's right next to Richmond. It's in Richmond, but it's right next to is it Berkeley or Oakland? It's just like the south end of Richmond. It's kind of in an industrial area. It's called Bay Quilts. It's a quilt shop, and it is an extraordinary shop in itself. Typically, they have an exhibit going on. I'm not sure with COVID. I looked on their website and it looked like things are going on. It looked like in November, Rachel Clark has something going on. We did a show with her. But if you want to see that quilt in person, it's at Bay Quilts in Richmond, California. That was a showstopper. Can I just say, please? All right, but then this was what I brought up. I got this morning in my email, and this is up in a quilt shop up in Spokane, and the inspiration was Frank Lloyd Wright, and it was a number. It didn't have names. And then in the email, the gal said, the person, I didn't know, said, I'm up in Spokane. I've got to get something for Caroline's costume. And I'm going, wait a minute, that's Fran. So it was Fran. I said, Fran, is this you? And she's like, yeah. The thing you have to know about Fran Kelly is that she is president of my fan club, of which there is one member, Fran. So anyways, I want to show you something from my lips that I can make this work. I have been so excited about what people are putting on the forum that we're going to go over to the forum right now and take a look. So here we go. This is the quiltshow.com. This is what happens when you land on it. You can see here that I am logged in, and then you come across here to the forum, okay? There's a lot of really good stuff here, but let's go to the forum today because not everybody is aware of it. So what you do is I'm going to get rid of some of these windows so I can see. You go to the forum and then scroll a little bit, and you can see right here are some classrooms, and you see D. Christopher has one, Ricky has one, I have one. So let's go to my classroom. Again, I thank you so much for uploading these things. I just love it. I would go to paper piecing sampler, show your progress here. You can see here, there's a whole lot that's going on, but let's go here. And then my choice is to go to the latest activity, but I see something here. Oh, Susan Richards Fuller. My quilts are on display now through the end of October at Bay Quilts. Mostly I do large format quilts based on photos I took while traveling, but there's even ones inspired by these Facebook Lives. Okay, I got to get over there, Susan. I got to get over there. Shoot. I love that store. Thank you. I'm glad I could see that. So let's go to latest activity. Thank you, Susan. So, this one just went up. Okay. In a monochromatic. That's beautiful. And then I love Noella said, I have the crazy part of the baskets done. By the way, I've been corresponding with someone who's been having a heck of a time getting her basket together. And I've written you back and said, if you would put it in the mail to me, I want to see what is going on. So look at this. I just love this. And then here's another pineapple that SZUK has done on a bag. And then here's her pineapple with the kit. I don't know, it looks like you've thrown some darker capes in. And then here's Linda's little basket. Okay, Pamela, let me see. Okay. Here is Barbara's. You know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut right now. And then Debbie's. Okay. This is just, it just inspires me to go through these. Okay. I mean, you're putting up so much. That's why I can't just go grab them and show them. Okay, look, hear what Debbie did. She took a black and white photo of it, and look at what it tells you for value. Thank you, Debbie. So you can see here that the forum, yes, it is very tedious, Donna. Okay. All right, let's get back to what we're doing. But please, thank you, a million thank you for putting stuff on the forum. Okay, so Brenda, oh, you have to be a star member to put things on. Anybody can go look, but that is for safety reasons to keep fishers out and spammers and all that. So Brenda asked me at retreat, could I please do something on the Q20? And I said, sure. I have it's a pre-record because I had to have John maneuver around it while we looked at different things. Let's take a look. We have so many options today as quilt makers on how we're going to quilt our quilts, right? We can do it by hand, we can do it by domestic, we can do it by sit down, we can do it by long arm, we can also do it by checkbook. I can kind of do all of it. Well, I have to tell you, I know I'm not a long arm person, never say never, because this for me would be a little difficult because I'm a mover, okay, with the fabric. That's how I work. And so when it was time to look at whether I could get a long arm or not, or whether I'd want it, somehow my brain would not let me connect to doing this, all right? So then Bernina came out with a long arm, but also adapted it to be a sit down. And it was the Q20, is the Q20. And I look at this at shows and I was kind of afraid of it because in my mind, I'm thinking long arm. Well, it's a sit down. And when we finally got it in my studio, I have to say I was really afraid of it because it looked so big. It looked so overwhelming, etc. So frankly, okay, I sewed out a little bit, but then actually I kind of sat there. So I was working on this quilt. Let's take a look at it by Cindy Needham. I'm into her quilting, how to do these wonderful little designs and motifs. And I was working on this on my 765 Bernina. And I thought, and I was like looking around, I couldn't see because I didn't have all the opening, you know? So I thought, okay, let's just sit down. And the reason I knew I could do it on this machine or slash a long arm is because you see the award-winning quilts that these quilters are putting out. It's done on long arms and machines. So I sat down and it was like the angels started singing. So the first thing you have to know is that it's going to sound different than your sewing machine. And that's kind of a click that you have to get over because I've had too many machine quilting teachers say, you get into the sound, you go for the sound, and you know where it's at. Well, this is different. It's not bad, it's just different. The other thing is I looked at the apparatus of this. Let me twirl around. And I thought, oh, how am I ever supposed to know how to thread this thing? Well, I have to tell you people, it's easier to thread than a domestic machine, which just blows my mind, but it is. It's really a remarkably simple machine. And so what you do is you put your thread on this spool, you come up through here and over here, and then I'm gonna have John, our trusty photographer, to come around to the side. You go in here, up over here, and in here. Then you can look at the machine and it tells you exactly how to thread it. So in this case, I always look, I come up like this, then I come through here. Now this was the part that I thought was really weird. Now this was the part that I couldn't understand and I thought was really weird. You've got this little arrow here and you go down, it's telling you, then it's gonna come up on what to do. So that's just to get it so that you can position the thread properly where it needs to go. Now, this is the only hard part. This has to be threaded, the thread through here coming this way. Well, I'm a left-hander. And then all of a sudden I go, well, don't be a ding-dong, just put a needle threader in there, get the thread in there, yay, and pull it through. So there's that, okay? Then you can just shut it, come down through this little guy down here, all right? And then, in here, sorry, and then I'm gonna use the needle threader, which is really quite simple. When you're gonna use a Bernina needle threader, just don't pull this too tight, and then it will just come up like that. That's it, it's threaded, simple. All right. Now, the other thing that you need to know is that the feet are very easy to change. All right. And there's 3 feet that I use over and over and over. This one is called the Micro Stippler. I bought it and I like it because I can really see what's going on. This is the one that comes with the machine, and it's a good one too, but honestly, I like the Micro Stippler better. And I don't know the number on it, I'm sorry. And then I also got the ruler foot. And both of these feet, it's got a higher shaft on it. All these feet will work on my 765. So that's a big fat yay, okay? So let me talk about the settings. One of the things that you're gonna wanna get as an add-on is the laser light. So I'm gonna turn it on, and you can see down below that a red light comes on. And so that, I know exactly where the needle's gonna go down. And that's huge when you're working on a big machine like this, at least in my estimation. Then I like to take the tension. It's at default 4.0. I like to take it down to about a 2.5. But always test just to make sure. You want the back to look as good as the front. And as soon as you've put it in default mode, out of default, a yellow box will come around. So you know you've done that. The other thing is I like to take the stitch length. This is stitches per inch, so it's 10. I like to take it down to 9 or 8. That's just my preference. Then what you're gonna have to do is figure out, do you want BSR1, BSR2, or BSR3, or manual? What the BSR is, it's 2 lights underneath, let me show you, that read the movement of the fabric or the machine. So when I start stitching, these guys come up, and then that gets your stitches perfect. I'm telling you, it took me about 5 minutes to get comfortable with the stitching. So I kind of like BSR1, and let's just take a look at what it does so we can see. I'm gonna pull the thread up. Where's my foot pedal? Okay, I'm gonna go down. Pull it up. I'm gonna take a couple little stitches. And see there how the light's on. It moves when I move the fabric. If I stop, there you go. I believe on BSR2, it moves no matter, well, I kind of like that too. I like them both. Okay. You're gonna have to figure out what you like. Okay, the other thing is that the speed on the machine, I'm gonna go back to 1. I have right down here this is the speed. Look, I can get like 857 stitches, per minute or whatever. I like it down here. I like it much lower. I think it might even be the default. Let's see, what, 250? I think I even take it lower than that. I wanna go slow. But the other thing that is really super awesome cool is that when you look at the foot pedal, there's the skinny end and then there's the big end. If you click the skinny end, you have a couple options on what you can get. You can get needle up, needle down. You can get presser foot up, but I like the knot function, and it's not like the knot function on your regular Bernina. I'll show you what it is. I'm gonna stitch along here. That's as fast as I can go, by the way, because I have it set for that. Little stitches. Now I'm gonna push the heel of it. Just once, a very sharp tap. There, it brought up the needle, it brought up the presser foot all at the same time. So I don't have to do a Sophie's Choice on this thing. And then to pull up the thread, see, this is why I like the laser light. I can see exactly where the thread is. I'm gonna go down and back up and pull it up. So I really love the knot function, big time. It's my go-to. The other thing that I want to talk about too is this slidey mat does not come with it, and it's one of these Teflon sheets. I got the big giant one. I really like it, but you're gonna have to cut out the holes so that the BSR can then register through. If it's covered up, it will not work. Your BSR will not work. And then the other thing I want you to consider, I'm throwing a lot at you, but I chose to get the table with the hydraulic lift. It's a horn table. And the reason, the sales pitch was so that you could stand up and quilt if you wanted. No, the sales pitch is for me is that I have trifocals, and it's so I can get underneath here and change the bobbin thread easily. Otherwise, I can't do it. I just can't. So down here is the bobbin. You open it up. There you go. It has a little wing right there that helps me pull it out. That little wing, okay. When you put the bobbin in, you're gonna want it so that Bernina's on the outside. I don't even think it'll let you put it in any other way. And then you just do your regular mechanism on how you thread a bobbin. So I don't even have to pull, get out of there. I don't have to open this up to put it in. I can just get in there and snap that puppy in. There you go. And then here's your little thread cutter. There, and shut it, and then down she comes. So truly, it is a remarkable machine, and it's easy. Oh, the other thing, even changing the needle is easier than on my domestic. You get this little screwdriver thing, and this little screw, you just unscrew it with the little screwdriver, and the needle pops out. You put the other one in. Okay, lefty loosey, righty tighty, and then you're good to go. And this can use the needles that are for your regular sewing machine. So anyways, I want to say, number one, don't be afraid of a machine. And I will say especially, don't be afraid of this machine. It is really simple. And when they kept telling me that, I'm sitting there going, man, your pants are on fire. No, it's really simple. So I hope if you have one of these machines, a Q20, it can help answer some questions, Brenda. And I hope that if you're considering one, go and sit at a show and sew at it. I think you'll be amazed. And again, with the double stitch regulator, there is about a 2-minute learning curve on how to get perfect stitches with this machine. So let's hear it for John and his camera work. So listen, I called Jeannie at Bernina, and I want to get back to comments. I can find all these crazy little toys on here. I called Jeannie at Bernina to ask if they have any sort of deals right now. And she said on October 16th, it's a Super Saturday, which means they're going to be having a really good financing deal. They do that periodically, which is great. And then she also said, check out bundles on the site, on the Q series. I have the 20. They now have a Q16, which is not quite as deep as a 16, and it's more affordable, shall we say. I sat down at my 765, and I think I measured it's about 11 or 12 inches. So just that extra, is really quite wonderful. It comes with a really great little book, but you can see how skinny it is compared to his other books. And also, if you get into things and you can't figure it out, I have found YouTube to be a plethora of information. And I would say that's true for any machine you're on, because sometimes I look at instructions and I can't really follow them. So, yay, John. I don't, Michigan Girl, I do not have prices. I do not, and that's an individual dealer thing. And Raging said, how can you test drive these? Well, typically Bernina at shows will have a booth, and they're more than happy to have you do it. But call your local Bernina dealer. I mean, they should have one in the store. I mean, they should, right? So, Linda, it does get easier. And I think for me, it was the mental bump of, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this. And sure, when you sit down, you have to relook at it and refigure it out. But by the time I finished that quilt, that white quilt that I was showing you of Cindy's, yeah, I've got it. In fact, I have another linen here. I'll give you a little sneak peek of it that I'm starting to work on. Isn't that a beautiful linen that I'm starting to work on? And I will certainly be doing it by Q20. Okay. So let's see what else. Oh, if you decide you're going to buy one of these things, get hold of me before, and I can still send you one of these Bernina rebate cards. And then I mail it to you, and then you've got 30 days to purchase it. You get it to me by going to alexandrsn@gmail.com. Let me see some other comments. It's all in practice, 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 Rose said. Yes, but I will tell you right now, um, they, I'll tell you a secret. The BSR on my 765, when it came out on the domestic, I was in the middle of writing my machine quilting book. And so I had to decide whether I was going to cheat using the BSR or if I was going to learn and suffer through the way we had to 10 years ago. You know what I'm talking about. And I decided I was going to suffer through. And so when the BSR came, I sat down. It was a whole new learning thing. And I thought, look, I don't need to redo what I'm doing. It's working. When I sat down at this puppy, it was just 2 minutes. Just relax, just relax, just relax. So no, I don't have prices. I mean, you can look on Bernina's site. I'm not sure if the prices are there, but you know, they have their, each dealer has a certain amount of latitude with what they can do. Okay, but Bernina Stitch BSR pad is a Bernina Stitch regulator, and it's so that when you sit down, don't have all these herky jerky stitches that when you're learning how to machine quilt, it's just inevitable that's going to happen. So on the Q series, there's 2 BSRs, so it's like double your money, and on the domestics, it's 1 BSR. I wish there was a way they could put 2 BSRs on their domestic. I'm saying. And also, don't forget, get the laser light. I cannot suggest that enough. And I think that's about a $250 add-on. Okay. I got mine from somebody who was very generous. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do on Monday, because I'm going to be with my grandies on Friday, is we are going to do the kaleidoscope block. And this was the very first paper piecing block I ever did. And when I was done with it, I understood the value of foundation paper piecing, because when you do this block, you can have a lot of weirdo edges, biases, and things like that. So that's what we're going to do. Please post your baskets on the site. And sorry, I'm going to fink out on you on Friday, but I am. And in a few minutes, I'm going to actually do a interview with Claudia Feil from Germany. And she won a big award. She's been on the show. She showed us something behind the scenes on the show that now we're going to be able to show you in person. And I just got the imagery this morning, and it just grabbed my heart beyond measure. So let's see. I love the BS. Okay, Sue loves the BSR2 on the bottom instead of on the top. Yeah, I like the BSR on the bottom too, and that's how it comes up on this thing. So, in all things, practice, 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 but the main thing is don't be afraid. Somebody at retreat, or maybe my mini group, bought a 765 domestic, and it's still in the box because they're afraid of it. Please, people, these are beautiful machines. Any machine, any high-end machine, think of it like an onion, and there are layers, and you peel through the first layer, you peel through the second layer. Don't be afraid. If you're on this video thing with me right now, you can do it. okay? Technology has come a long way, and Facebook on Monday, right? Okay, I didn't hear you mention it, Becky says, but if you buy the Q20 and the sit-down cabinet, you can eventually, yeah, thank you. You can eventually take it and put it on a frame. Oh my gosh, Becky, I didn't say that. So if you get it and go kind of, well, now I wish I'd gotten a long arm, you can get a long arm frame. And one of the things that Bernina has that makes me think this much I might be interested in a frame, this much. Because again, I like to push my fabric. I like to have my hands on my fabric. There's those of you who are these guys on a long arm. But on the Bernina long arm, you can take the handles and put them down like this. And so it's the closest thing to that you can get on a long arm. Oh, Becky, thank you so much. Okay, so Joanna, yes, try out the Q20 on Friday. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous to use it, Johanna. Just have fun with it. So you guys have a great day. I'll see you Monday. We'll do the kaleidoscope again. That's probably the hardest thing, hardest block, even over the New York Beauty. And yes, I was say this. Elaine said, I've had my 770 for 2 years and still haven't done 90% of its full function. Exactly. Exactly. And I would say these are all high-end machines. Get to know and love your machine. You've paid a lot of money for it. There's a lot of stitches, and go for it. Oh, and speaking of stitches, I'm going to tease you that I've come up what our next class is going to be. And I'll be showing you in a little bit, but it's a perfect chill thing to do during the holidays when you're going to pull your hair out. All right. So I think you'll love it. It's kind of what I've been doing lately. So, okay. Have a great day. And I will see you Monday. And don't forget Dee Christopher's on Saturday. Don't forget Dee. She is just doing a fabulous job. We are very different teachers. I think of her as like the mama duck with the little ducks following after. She has a lot of really great information, and she's been sewing since she came out of her mom's womb. So, are these videos going to be on the Quilt Show? Yeah, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and they do reside. So, John.
Yes.
Okay, so where's the classroom?
Learn.
Under Learn?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to Learn, Kathy, and I have a classroom, and that's where these videos will be. And Learn, I believe, is right to the left of Forum on the site. It's right in there somewhere. Look at the top, go to Learn, and there it is. Where does it take them? To YouTube?
No.
Oh, it's right on our site?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.